Okay, Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship fans. Jonathan Green here, and I've got a very interested party on the line in JacobDouglas. Delighted to have you here live from Indianapolis, and obviously a Kiwi, but you're watching the Toyota Racing Series with great interest. Why don't you explain to the fans why?
Hi, firstly, thank you for having me on here, Jonathan. But yeah, no, I really wanted to race in the Oceania Formula Regional Championship this year, but unfortunately, we kind of just had to make a decision with our season in USF 2000 or back home in New Zealand, and unfortunately, testing was just so tight that we had to choose over here. But I'm really hoping to get back and compete next year.
Good, and I know you're keeping an eye on Billy Fraser. He's had a bit of a rush to get down there too. Did you guys talk before he left?
A little bit, yep. Yeah, he told me he was planning on coming here. Yeah, no, I wish him all the best, and I hope he does really good. He's a great driver, and it was great being teammates with him last year.
Jacob, as a Brit, I'm astounded every time I come down to New Zealand. There's always another one like you. I spoke to Louis Foster the other day, and obviously Billy, Nato. There's so many young Kiwis coming up, and I go back to the days of Mitch Evans and Nick Cassidy, who have obviously gone on to great. What's your background? How did you get involved in New Zealand motorsport in the first place?
Well, I started off racing karts as most people do. Dad just took me out to the track one day, and it kind of just went from there. And then I joined WKS Kart Store, and the team there really just helped me out and helped me progress through like national karting in New Zealand up to international levels, which was really great. And then I did a season Formula Ford back in 2020, and then 2020 and 2021, sorry. And then I moved over to the States last year for my first year of international car racing, which was a great experience. And yeah, the USF 2000 championship over here. And now we're doing another year. So I'm super pumped to go out and give it my all.
Let me take you back to your kart days. You say you got onto the international scene. How far did you get, and who would we have heard of that you raced against and were noteworthy of?
I think I raced against Charlie Wers actually in the FIA Academy back in 2019. Yeah, I think that's it for the field this year. And then obviously some others back in New Zealand, Liam Skeets, Callum Hedge. I think I briefly raced against Billy, and all of that. So it's pretty cool, kind of progressing through at the same rate as them, and just being around the same people and racing them and all that.
We obviously noticed with Charlie right from the get-go, a bit like his dad, very consistent so far. Is that something he already had in karting?
I believe so, yeah. He was a really strong contender in the FIA Academy. We had a few on-track battles, I believe. And yeah, no, he's always been a good driver.
How was your first year in the States? Because it's obviously quite a culture change from Formula Ford and, racing at home. How did you get to it? How did you get on?
It was a bit up and down, to be honest. I mean, it was just, there was so much new stuff to learn and to take in that it wasn't it was probably the first time in my career that it hasn't just been learning stuff on track. I was learning just even stuff at home, because I was living on my own. Just the way it works, kind of even just in America, and it's that was the biggest learning curve last year, I'd say. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I'm just really excited to give it another shot this year.
So how did you go last year, and what's the plan this year? I mean, where you obviously want to improve, but can you be a contender this year?
For sure, yeah. No, myself and the exclusive autosport team have been improving the car, working on myself, and just all around. I think we're on the up and up, which is great. Last year we kind of started off a bit slow after some really good testing. It was a bit of a shame, but by the end of the season we kind of clawed our way back to where we should have been, and kind of showed the potential that we did have throughout the year. And yeah, we're just looking to carry that momentum into next year. and just do all we can to prepare. And I strongly believe that we can contend for the title this year.
Am I right in saying you and Billy were teammates last year?
Yep, yeah, that's correct.
And what about this year?
I'm not too sure what his plans are this year. I believe he's trying to move to Indy Pro, but I haven't really discussed that with him.
And do you know anybody else you'll be racing with in the team?
I have one teammate that's signed, Avery Towns, who's a really good driver as well. So I'm looking forward to working with him. I'm sure. I think there's a few more drivers looking to sign. So hopefully we find that out soon.
A little bit of a change in the way the road to Indy is structured now. You've got the Anderson Promotion 3 championships, and then it goes on to Indy next, which of course Hunter McElroy is doing, and IndyCar. Is that the plan for you, is to do the Anderson Tour, go up to Pro, and then on to Indy next?
Yeah, no, 100%. Obviously this year we're in USF, and then next year, hopefully the plan's to move up to USF Pro, and then just progress through the ranks and hopefully get to the goal of IndyCar.
Jacob, you mentioned the fact that you want to do TRS. We've obviously got a good association with Anderson Promotions, but how aware are your competitors of what's going on down here, and how now it's an FR championship, it's suddenly gained a huge step forward in terms of super license points?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely gained a lot of recognition, I'd say, over in the States just recently. But yeah, like when I first came over, it wasn't as heard of as it is now, I'd say. And I was talking to lots of drivers that were looking at doing it, but I think maybe a similar case to me, where this year there just wasn't a whole lot of testing available. So unfortunately, I think it didn't quite work out. But yeah, no, it's definitely quite highly highly recognized over in the States now.
And you're 17. Are your sights set purely on the IndyCar series, or would you be open, if TRS goes well, to looking perhaps to FIA and going to Europe?
You always want to keep your options open for sure, but at the moment I'm just focused on where I am at the moment, which is America. So I just want to do the best I can over here, and if stuff opens up, or we will cross that bridge when we come to it.
I think they're going to rename America the Northeast Island of New Zealand, because there's so many American and Kiwi drivers in America. You've got Marcus going over there now, and Scott and Hunter, and you name them, Peter Bogdanovich, Billy, yourself. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, it's super exciting. That's something I really like about New Zealand is we're really good at kind of staying connected, I'd say. So it's great, just knowing loads of people over there that had kind of done something similar to me. And that was what I really liked about having Billy as my teammate last year, is that he could just relate to a lot of the stuff that I was learning and that I was going through at the time, because obviously he did the exact same thing a year before. So that was really cool. And America's just such a great place to progress through the ranks. I've got a really good ladder system and multiple series, so it's definitely a good place to go and move over to.
I know we looked at Daytona's entry. I'm sure you'll be tuning in, but there's 8 TRS guys all taking part this weekend, including the 2 Scots, and people like Brendan Hartley, of course, who was the first winner of TRS, of a race in TRS. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, very exciting. I'm looking forward to watching the Daytona race.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you come from a racing family? You mentioned that you started karts early, but what's your background? Where'd you go to school? And, how did you get the bug?
My dad used to race a little bit, just club stuff back in the day. So that's kind of how I got into it. I started out racing motorbikes, and, that's quite dangerous, obviously. So dad kind of steered away from that as soon as he could. And then we moved to 4 wheels. So I grew up in Christchurch. I went to Christ College. I left nearly 2 years ago now, which has gone by pretty quickly. But I'm doing online school, which is a big change. But I'm definitely missing home for sure. But it's a great next step of my career living over here.
I know you being like a lot of modern drivers now, which is you are taking your schooling seriously because it's all very well, chasing the dream, but if it doesn't come to fruition, so what are you going to study? You're finishing off high school, but what are you going to continue to study and go down that path as well?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I mean, school is very important. You always want to have a backup, although like you don't really want to think about that. But yeah, no, it's always important to keep your options open and stuff. But I haven't quite thought about what I'll do after high school. I'm kind of just like going at 1 year at a time, I guess you could say.
Fair enough. And do you have a mentor or anybody helping you, or even from that point of view, somebody in the States that you really look up to and want to emulate?
Kind of. I mean, I know Marcus, so it's going to be quite cool when he moves over here and starts racing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting with him and kind of hopefully, I mean, he can kind of help me out a bit. And then I know Scott McLaughlin too. He's been really great. I've met him a few times at the track, and he's kind of said if I ever need anything, just let him know. So he's really good at kind of just offering help. And I think all New Zealanders are like that, which definitely makes it a lot easier.
You can always borrow his full jandle. When you're off, do you get a chance to go to any of the Indy Next or Indy car races? Do you think you'll try to sort of get around the paddock and get known?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all of our races except two are with IndyCar. So that's really great. I kind of get to go around the paddock and just try and meet as many people as I can. I try to go to lots of the IndyCar races that I don't race at. Like last year I went to Detroit and Laguna Seca, they were both pretty cool races. But yeah, no, for sure, just meeting as many people as you can and all that is always comes in handy at some point.
Now, more importantly, you've been watching the Toyota Racing Series, and I've been talking to a lot of journalists, but we don't know what we're talking about. So let's talk to a racing driver, and let's find out what you think of the first two rounds that were both held on the South Island, and what you've learned from some of the guys like Verts that you've raced against, and Callum and many others. What did you learn from rounds 1 and rounds 2?
I mean, it looks like a very tight field, which is always great. The racing seems pretty close. But I haven't really been able to watch a lot of it because of the time zone difference and the websites over here and stuff.
So in terms of Billy, though, who you know well, how do you think he'll go? He's got 3 rounds to get himself bedded in, including the Grand Prix. He's obviously got more experience than some of the guys coming in. What do you think his chances are?
No, I think Billy's a great driver for sure. He's got a bit of experience now in single seaters, so I think he'll get up to pace pretty quick. He's a really good racer. That's definitely something I learned last year from him, is like lots of racecraft stuff. So I think he'll be able to race his way through the pack for sure, no matter where he qualifies, especially in the reverse grid races. I think Billy will be a good contender.
And if it comes down, as it's been so far, between Charlie, who you've raced in karts, and obviously Callum, that's how it's looking anyway. But Louis Foster could have something to say about that. He's just joined, and there's another couple coming. But if it does come down to Taupo in the final race, and it is between Callum and Charlie, who would your money be on?
Oh, that's a hard one. Callum's probably got the experience, I'd say, over Charlie. And he's a great driver. They're both great drivers, but seeing he's from New Zealand, I'd have to take Callum.
Good answer. Hey, listen, it's been good talking to you, but tell the New Zealand media where you're going to be this year. Give us your social and tell us your plans for TRS next year.
So my socials are just JacobDouglas Motorsport on Instagram and Facebook. I'll be racing over here from March 5th is my first round at St. Petersburg. I hope everyone can tune in and have a watch of that. It's a great race, great first race, a street race down in Florida. I'm really looking forward to it. And then next year for TRS, we're planning on it already. So I'm really excited. I haven't raced in New Zealand since 2021. So it'd be great to come back and race.
Do you know your car number yet? We'll be tuning in here in New Zealand.
My car number 90.
Number 19, we'll be looking for you. Jacob, thank you so much for talking to us. Stay tuned to the Toyota Racing Series throughout the rest of the year. Good luck to Callum and the rest of the boys, but we're really looking forward to seeing you race here next year, and best of luck in the United States.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Not at all. Thanks, Jacob.
Cheers.